I am Christine Mantilla, and this is Connections, where I share my connections with you, real people, real stories, real growth. And today's guest is incredible. From a small town, Lewisburg, North Carolina, to the red carpet, a mentor, a coach, a motivational speaker, best-selling author, musician, and world traveler. Listen to the end. She is incredible. Be empowered, be inspired. Most of all, what you'll take away from this conversation, more confidence and feeling empowered. You will feel better about yourself after you listen to this. Just wait till you meet my connection.
Hello. Hi, Christine. Can you hear me?
I can.
Good to see you.
Oh, I love it. Hello. All right. My guest, my connection, Miss Tensie Taylor, international motivational speaker. She is a coach, a mentor from a small town in North Carolina to the red carpet. You're a musician. She's a musician.
Yes.
We get to hear so much about Miss Tensie Taylor. I was going over for this podcast to get ready to speak with Tensie, and everything that she's done. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to dive all into it. This woman is amazing. But beyond that, she is incredibly authentic and will leave you walking away from the conversation feeling special and important and confident in yourself, which is incredible. A lot of people cannot do that. But this woman here, she does. So I am so excited to be speaking with Tensie Taylor. Hi.
Hi, Christine. How are you doing?
I am so good. I am so excited for this. I just can't wait. Really, I dove into you and your life and all you do. And apart from knowing you, it's just so incredible. There's so much to learn from you. I actually don't even know where to begin. I do want to hear about what you're doing now, maybe first, so the audience knows who you are in that aspect. And then I'd love to go back to where it all began.
Okay, sounds perfect. So right now I am founder and principal consultant of my consulting company, TJT Consulting, and it focuses on four main areas: executive recruitment, professional coaching, leadership training, and celebrity networking. And I have the pleasure of coaching phenomenal individuals to what I like to call greater career heights, giving them the confidence, giving them the ability to see things in themselves that they may not yet see, and just giving them that encouragement to go after their goals and dreams and aspirations, because so many people have motivated me and encouraged me that it gives me such a pleasure to give back and help others reach their goals. Thank
I can't say it enough. I feel so super important when I walk away from a conversation with you. So you just have this light to draw out, like you said, what you see in people, and they get to see it for themselves.
you so
So
much.
special. So red carpet, celebrity networking. Can you tell me about that?
Yes, so I have been in Hollywood now for about 10 years. I'm originally from North Carolina, and when I came out here to Los Angeles, it wasn't to do anything Hollywood related. I was coming out here to pursue my master's degree at USC, but I told myself that I would take advantage of any opportunity, any good opportunity that would come my way, and I did. And so I tell this story because you never know who's watching you. And I remember I was at an event and this lady had been watching me, and she comes up to me afterwards and says, "Have you ever considered red carpet hosting?" She said, "I watched you interact with people. You have seem to have a really great personality." And I told her no, I was not familiar with that, but I got her business card. I followed up. I always tell people, make sure you follow up when you get someone's contact information. And then she trained me, and I've been on more than 300 red carpets in Hollywood, from the Oscars to the Emmys to the NAACP Image Awards. the People's Choice Awards. I've had the pleasure of interviewing so many celebrities, more than 600, from Magic Johnson to Alan Thicke to Robin Thicke to meeting Beyonce and Jay-Z in different capacities. I have really had a chance to meet some of Hollywood's finest. And one of the things that I see is that these mega superstars that I get a chance to meet and interview are so humble and kind. I was recently at a charity event for Micah's Voice, which was founded by Sean Stockman, one of the members of Boys to Men. And I got a chance to not only meet Boys to Men, but Martin Lawrence, Babyface, and everybody was just so gracious and kind and very humble, which just shows me that regardless of where you are in life, it's just good to be nice and kind. So I consider myself truly blessed to meet so many phenomenal individuals, especially again, since I didn't come out here to do anything entertainment related.
Ridiculously amazing. Okay, just one fan moment here. Who is the most like your star person that you met? Person that like made you crazy.
Oprah. Oprah. I got to meet Oprah, and one of my former USC students, she invited me to the world premiere of the film A Wrinkle in Time that was directed by Ava DuVernay. And so they had the huge grand opening, and Ava DuVernay, Kobe Bryant was there, Oprah was there, all these celebrities were there. And I remember I was like, I want to meet Oprah. I'm determined to meet Oprah. And I said two words, Miss Winfrey, because I don't know her on a first name basis. And she came over to me and we started talking. We took a selfie together, and she was just as gracious and as kind as ever. And then fast forward a few months later, I was invited to Quincy Jones' 85th birthday party at that time, and she was hosting, and I saw her again, and she didn't remember my name, but she said, "You look familiar." So she remembered my face, and so we took yet another selfie together. So the opportunity to meet Oprah, talk show host. I wanted to be a talk show host when I was younger, a billionaire, just her life's challenges that she overcame to get to where she is, and to meet her, and again for her to be so gracious and kind. That's one of the most memorable celebrities I've had the pleasure of meeting.
So that's a very good lesson. Don't ever turn down an opportunity and follow up.
Yes, always follow up.
I would like to kind of go back now, back to maybe an experience that wasn't the greatest when you were younger, but that led to a best-selling book, an amazing story and inspiration for those who may suffer from the same type of trauma.
Yes. So unfortunately, I was bullied very heavily starting when I was in kindergarten, my very first day in kindergarten. And so I've always been very short, very petite, and I was a straight A student. And I was bullied by peers at school. And I remember my first day of kindergarten, I was excited to meet my teacher and get to know my classmates and make new friends. But once the school bus picked me up and we got to the school, I remember this bully. I won't share any names because I'm not trying to be mean, but I remember this bully. She was a girl, and she grabbed my book bag from behind, unzipped it, and threw all of my belongings on the ground. So my pencils, my paper, my Barbie coloring book, because I loved Barbie, all of that came tumbling to the ground. And that's when the bullying first started. And so it kind of followed me for the next 13 years of my life. I was bullied by a teacher when I was in elementary school. I was physically bullied. I had a student twist my arm and tried to break it. Thankfully, she did not do that. I had students who threw food at me on the bus, would call me names such as squirrel, Geico Direct. I used to be very insecure about my eyes. They are big because students made fun of them, said I looked like a frog. And it was very bad. And I became so depressed that I contemplated suicide when I was in high school, because to go to school, to try to do your best, and to have students just say all these negative things about you and to lay hands on you and to just kind of wish failure on you, it got to me. But thankfully, I did not give into those thoughts of taking my life. And at that moment, I switched my perspective. I said, if people are upset, that I won 10 awards this year, where they're going to be really mad when I win 15 awards next year. So I just had this fervent desire to make myself better, to prove those individuals wrong. And so for anybody that's watching this or listening to it, if you are being bullied, know that you are a light. Bullies are very insecure people who are intimidated by something that's in you. And the older I get, the more I understood that. And the psychologist, Dr. Gloria Morrow, who wrote the foreword to my book, said that hurt people hurt people. And a lot of people who bullied me came from single parent homes. They had a parent who was incarcerated. They didn't have much money. And I came from a two-parent household, lived in a beautiful house, had parents who loved me, traveled the whole United States. And so there was a lot of envy and jealousy there. But the flip side to that is that happy people help people. And so I consider myself to be a happy person, willing to help, encourage individuals. And as a lady told me one time, she says, Tensie, you didn't get better, you got better. And so that's why I just don't believe in being mean to people, regardless of what your circumstances are. We're all going through something in life, whether it's health related, physical related, emotionally related. But my thing is, if you don't like somebody, just leave them alone. Don't deliberately go out of your way to bring harm or just to be rude to them. But what's interesting is many of these students who bullied me, they follow me on social media. And so when they see me with Oprah, when they see me with Beyonce's mom, when they see me at these events, now they know me. Oh, I went to school with her. This is my friend. When I was a contestant on Wheel of Fortune, I just didn't realize I had so many cousins because everybody said, watch my cousin spin. So it's just really been interesting. But thankfully, I kept the faith, I kept going. And to those who are being bullied, you too keep going because greater is waiting for you.
You are a light, and you do make people feel good with your experiences. The positive spin that you naturally have on these experiences is just incredible, and it is inspiring for others. And I do want to share this beautiful book. Let me get that light right. Definitely pick this up if you are being bullied or if you're not. If you have a trauma in your life and a story to tell, this is still an inspiration to you. And maybe you have a book in you.
Yes. Yes.
Definitely meet with Miss Tensie because her consulting, her mentoring and inspiration can help bring that out of you. Okay, that's my little commercial for you for a minute. Oh, I love this. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yes, my pleasure. And I just want to say one more thing about it. My book, yes, it tells my story, but it also will take you on a roller coaster ride. I have humor in there. I have life lessons, things that my mom and dad instilled in me. I have pictures of many of the celebrities that I've had the chance to meet, places that I've traveled. I have statistics at the back of the book. So, yes, it's my memoir, but it really will kind of take you on a journey of once you believe in yourself, it doesn't matter what others think of you because you know that you have the capacity to succeed. I mean, I think about Jalen Hurts on the Philadelphia Eagles and how many people doubted him and said all these negative things. And now look, Super Bowl champion. So you can't listen to the negativity of others, your tribe. And once you find your confidence and belief, oh, I promise you, the sky is indeed the limit.
The sky is indeed the limit. And man, oh man, if you don't feel it, you need to talk to Tensie. You do private coaching, right? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Christine, yes, I do private coaching. And again, I just have a knack to see things in people and to share things in areas that they can improve. And I say it with love. And I want to thank my dad, God rest his soul. He's in heaven now. But my dad was a teacher, he was an educator. He taught at the high school level and the college level for almost 48 years. He taught English, African American literature, and French. And he would just pour into his students, and he always had high expectations. He would teach honors English and regular English, but he taught the same curriculum. He would teach ninth graders big vocabulary words such as verisimilitude, veracity, malahalashashbar, because he told them when you go to college, whether it's Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Community College, wherever you want to go, I want people to know that you got a great education. And not only did my dad challenge his students, but he saw something in them that allowed them to be great. So one of the most beautiful things that came from my dad's passing was his former students found me on Facebook and reached out to me and said the impact and influence that dad had on them. And one student said she had dad for freshman English. Dad noticed her writing abilities and said, "You should write, just write every day because you have the gift for writing." And she says now she's the editor of a magazine with 50,000 subscribers. She said, "Your dad saw something in me." Another student reached out and said that he was a little troublemaker in high school, and dad pulled him aside and said, "If you don't get your act together, you're either going to be in prison or dead." And so dad kept in constant contact with him, and now he's an attorney in North Carolina. So dad had that tough love, but he also had that encouragement. And that's what I give to my clients. Yes, my feedback may sting a little bit, but that's how you grow. Because when it comes from somebody that you respect and who wants to see your best interests at heart, please take heed to that. And so I just have the ability to show people what's possible. And when clients come to me and say, "Okay, Tensie, this is where I want to be," I say, "Great, let's create a roadmap." And then some people always want to come with the negative. I'm like, "We can't have this negative mindset. Let's find a solution to where you want to go." And so I see with so much of dad in me when I coach my clients, working with beautiful you, and just the positive energy, the feedback, the reviews that people have gotten after working with me, it's just a blessing. And that's why I just want to continue to coach more people because you just never know what is in you, that somebody can see something that you may not yet see. And yeah, so that's one of my coaching things that I do. And again, you have people have access to my network. I have a very powerful network. So I not only coach individuals, but I connect them with different people. Hey, you want to be a business owner? Let me connect you with this business person. You want to go into law? Let me connect you with this attorney. Because it's not just me seeing something in you, but allowing you to talk to other people in that desired field you want to be in. So I'm just blessed to be a blessing.
Those connections. Since you're on my connections, my goal is to get to your level. You have some high value connections. Talk a little bit about that. I know you touched on who you know. How does that work connecting actors and directors and
Yes. So one of the things that I coach and teach people is a lot of times people approach others with what can that other person do for them? And that's fine, but especially if you're talking with a high net worth individual, this person doesn't know you. No disrespect, but a lot of people reach out to them. And so one of the cool things is I became connected with Beyonce's mom, Miss Tina Knowles, several years ago because she had just opened up a theater in North Hollywood. And I went up to her and congratulated her on her opening. And I asked her, I said, "Miss Tina, if there's ever anything I can do for you, let me know." So I'm just thinking that there's nothing I can do. And she says, "Well, actually, there is something you can do." She said, "I just started my mentorship program, and I would love for some college students to mentor these young middle school and high school students in the program." I said, "Miss Tina, absolutely." I was working at the University of Southern California at the time. And so I said, "I work at USC, more than happy to make that happen for you." I said, "Would you like me to email your assistant?" She said, "No, take my cell." So she gives me her cell number. I'm trembling, making sure I enter the number correctly. And then she says, "Let's take a selfie and text it to me so I will remember who you are." And so I took the selfie and texted it to her. And it took a little while because Beyonce was on tour at that time. But about a few months later, she invited me to her home. We had lunch and I started that partnership. And not only did our college students mentor the young people in her program, but I exposed them to a USC tailgate. So they got a chance to have food, participate in music, be on USC's campus. I even had a partnership with USC Athletics. So the students were able to go onto the football field and kind of high five all the football players before the game, and I got their name on the Jumbotron. So myself, along with my colleagues at the time, Dr. Michelle Turner and Mr. Gary Brown, we all were successful in making that happen. And Miss Tina thanked me by putting these beautiful highlights in my hair and buying copies of my book, posting about it on her Instagram page with 3 million followers, and allowing me to come speak to the young people in her program. So I share that story to say I asked her what I could do to help her. And I proved myself worthy. And in turn, she returned the favor. I never asked her to do any of this. I never asked her to buy my book or talk to the youth, but she wanted to do that for me. And so that's just an example. I've been asked to interview Stevie Wonder and Smokey Robinson because I was working at an event in Hollywood and met a music director and producer and kept in contact. And he was working on a documentary. I told him I did red carpet hosting, and he was like, "We need somebody to interview." So this documentary will probably be released sometime next year. So I'm just always out and about and cognizant of how I comport myself because you never know who's watching you. And again, following up, being of service, and just proving yourself worthy. I think a lot of times some people they're expecting money or they're expecting something out of this. Like when you come from a genuine place and have a pure heart, you will be blessed. God sees that. And so, to anybody that's listening to this podcast, when you network, do it with intentionality, but do it with a genuine heart. Don't say, "Oh, I'm going to be on Christine's podcast and now she's going to do this favor for me." No, like the universe will align for everything to work out the way it should. So, and keep in contact. That's one of the reasons why I continue to have such a big network because around the holidays, I'm like, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah.
No, in cards? How do you do it? Please share.
Yes, so I have the addresses of many of these people, so I will handwrite
Oh,
a Christmas card. Last year, I sent out 75 handwritten Christmas cards to people. I'll also send a text or an email just to check in. If I see something in the news, oh, congratulations, Christine, on launching Connections, or congratulations, Tim, on your new book, I'll send an email just to keep in touch because that way having that open line of communication is helpful so that when it does come time for an ask, the person is more willing to give it to you. Now, we all need help, we all need asks from people, but what really frustrates others is when you only reach out when you need something.
mhm.
Like if you can't even just check in and see how I'm doing just to say, hey, but oh, you want me to write a letter of recommendation for you, that's when people kind of are hesitant to help. So keep that line of communication open and just, again, holidays, birthdays, celebration, just drop a quick note or a quick email to let them know, hey, I saw that and congratulations.
I love that. I have not been able to do that, but you just inspired me to give it a shot this year. And I also really, really 1000% agree with you on asking, what can I do for you? Or being more interested in that other person
Mhm.
than, can you do this for me?
Yes, and that's one thing that Miss Tina later told me. She said, Titsy, you never asked anything about Beyonce. You never said, can you get me like you didn't even mention her name. I said, Miss Tina, because I wanted to get to know you. And she said, that's how I knew it was genuine. So people can recognize when you're coming for them to truly help or when you're coming to use them. And so again, be honest, be intentional, be genuine.
Now, musician, piano, trumpet. Where did that come from? When did that begin?
So I have to always give honor and homage to my parents. They should have written a book on how to parent because myself and my two siblings, we all have master's degrees. My brother has two master's degrees. We are successful in our own ways, but my parents wanted all of us to be well-rounded. So not only did we excel academically, my brother was valedictorian of his high school class, had a 5.1 GPA, just a genius. And they wanted us to be well-rounded. So I was enrolled in piano lessons and trumpet. So my brother played piano by ear, and I learned how to play from ear too from him, but I also took piano lessons. So I'm classically trained. My piano teacher, Mrs. Ann Scoggins, who's still in Lewisburg, North Carolina, I think she's 92, still living. and being involved in the church, she taught me piano and I would do recitals. I had to memorize music. I had to learn the proper keys and structures, major, minor, glissando, all these different piano terms. And at the time, I was like, oh, why are my parents enrolling me in piano? I don't want to do this. But I thank them because it opened so many doors of opportunity for me. When I was 16, I traveled to England, Ireland, Wales, and Scotland. And when I was in Westminster Cathedral Hall, we were waiting for the program to begin. And Queen Elizabeth's knight, Sir Andrew, was there. And he asked, who knows how to play the piano? So I raised my hand and I went to the piano and played everything from Johann Sebastian Bach to Stevie Wonder to gospel music. And in this beautiful Westminster Cathedral Hall, got a round of applause, got to meet Sir Andrew afterwards. So that's how the piano playing came about. And now I teach piano lessons, so I'm giving back to what my teacher, Miss Scoggins, gave me. I teach piano and voice lessons because I play piano and sing. I'm soprano as well as alto range. And then I play trumpet. I was my brother's shadow, and he played trumpet, and everything he did, I wanted to do. So I played trumpet and played songs during Christmas, Hark the Herald Angels Sing. For Black History Month, I played Swing Low, Sweet Chariot on my trumpet. But yeah, just using the gift of music. Got to give honor to God for blessing me with the talent of music. And so that's how that came about. And I will randomly just play my piano, record it, and then upload the video on social media just to kind of bring joy to people's lives. So I'm so grateful again that my parents enrolled me in those piano lessons. They made me practice. My family calls me by my middle name at home, and they were like, Janine, we're paying all this money. You will practice at least 30 minutes a day. And again, I didn't like it at the time, but it taught me so much. Like I can memorize things so quickly now. I can play a song and memorize it because I had to memorize for those recitals. So, to any parents or guardians out there, if you see a talent in your child, dig into that talent. Take them to get those voice lessons. Take them to get those basketball lessons because you never know where it could be. So that was how I got into music.
What a valuable gift that you just shared to parents. So true.
Yes. Yes.
And music. Ah, you said trumpet. I love Chris Bodie. I
Oh,
would love to hear you play. Oh, I love it. I don't think people really listen enough to instruments.
no.
Piano, the trumpet, the clarinet, just instruments, the beautiful sound.
Yes, absolutely. And not only just the sound, because my sister, she played flute and piccolo
Ooh,
when she was in band. I was in marching band and symphonic band, but just the discipline. You
yeah.
have to find the time to play. Like playing the trumpet is one of the hardest instruments. And when I tell people that, they're like, you're a woman that plays trumpet. Not many women play. And I'm so tiny. They're like, how do you have the wind, the breath to play all of that? So it's just really intriguing. But all these little things that you do kind of adds up. And I'm a quotes person, and one of my favorite quotes is how you do anything is how you do everything. And so when you do the small things in a productive way, when it comes time for those big things, you will also do that in a productive way. So again, it's setting you up for success.
Can I hear your favorite quote?
My favorite quote. Oh, okay, this is my favorite quote. A pessimist finds problems and opportunities, while an optimist finds opportunities and problems. So I'm such a light. So I always just try to find the positive, even in the negative in life. Be the change that you wish to see in the world.
And I know you got another one in you somewhere because I love these. Can I have one more?
Sure. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. I call it the 5 Ps. A very dear person shared that with me, and it's so true. Regardless if you're preparing for this interview, for your podcast, whether you're preparing for a recital, or just preparing for a project at work, when you are properly prepared, that helps prevent poor performance. And I see a lot of times people waiting until the last minute, procrastinating, then they're all bent out of shape, getting other people upset. No, just take your time, do things the way you should do it, and then properly prepare yourself so that you can be successful. I'm all about success. Like, again, it's the little things that add up that make the big difference in things. Like even just washing dishes and putting them away properly, or making your bed every day, kind of starting something productive with your day. All of those small habits can lead up to when those big habits come, you're already prepared.
When you just said making your bed, in the last few days, I've heard some great leaders say that same thing. Make your bed in the morning. Like
Yeah,
it just does make a difference. So,
it does. It does because you've already checked off
yeah.
something on your to-do list. Even if you don't do anything else all day, you have made your bed, and that is something productive.
And celebrating those small wins. I didn't realize how important that was to do. And when I started doing that, it made me feel so much better about accomplishing things.
Yes, absolutely. And that's a part of life, Christine. That's a great point that you just mentioned. People always want to celebrate the big things. When I turn 30, when I get engaged, when I get married, when I go on this big trip. Wonderful. Celebrate all that then. But if you get an A on that test that you studied hard for, or you learned how to play a new song on the piano, or you prayed to God for something specific and it came through, you celebrate that. Even if I get a good parking spot in LA, yes, yes, thank you. Like all those things matter. So celebrate the small as well as the big wins.
Yes, yes. Okay, so I want to go to something very important, maybe a lesson that you learned in life that you shared.
Yes. So, one of the lessons that I learned in life, there've been so many, and I'm just, again, thankful for my village who have helped me. I was an intern at IBM, 19 years old, and I had on this outfit that I just thought I was looking cute. I had on this red top and these black pants, but the black pants had slits on the side. So I go into the office for my internship and I walk into my cubicle and this lady named Maria, shout out to you, Maria, she pulls me aside and says, Titsy, can you come to my office really quickly? I'm like, sure. So I go into her office, like, Maria, how's your day going? She's like, what do you have on? She got straight to the point, no sugarcoating anything. I said, what do you mean? She looked me up and down. What is this? What's up with the pants? Why do you have on pants with slits in it? It looks like you're going to the club. And again, me being 19 and naive, I said, oh, I thought these were cute. She was like, no, this is a corporate environment. We dress a certain way here. And she really got even more real with me. She's like, you're a woman, you're a Black woman, and people are going to look at you more harshly than possible other races. So everything you wear, everything you say, you have to be on point with it. And so I was so embarrassed. But I listened to what she said. I didn't talk back. I didn't try to give an excuse. I listened. And I thanked her for that. And I went home and I threw those black pants away. I've never worn anything like that in any internship, in any job, because I want to always make sure that I present myself professionally. And that was a very big learning lesson for me. And I'm thankful that she pulled me aside because she could have let me walk around looking any old way and then having people at the company talk about me and just really kind of making the situation worse. So, for all the young people, and I'm really talking to the young people right now, please listen to someone older who is trying to help you. I just see so many instances, myself personally, when I've tried to correct students or young people. They get an attitude at me. They say, I don't need you for anything. You just, oh, what do you know? I just don't I never disrespected anybody that was older than me. And I see a lot of people try to give advice to help young people and they will curse them out. They will call them names. That's so unnecessary. That's so uncalled for. So even if you don't want to hear the advice, don't be rude to the person giving it to you. And if it comes from somebody that you respect, listen.
Yeah.
Because when you listen to somebody, they're trying to prevent you from making the same mistakes that they did. And so I never forgot that lesson. And then if I could share one more quick one.
Yes.
Also, when I was at IBM at that time, I had got my first speeding ticket. I've never gotten a speeding ticket since then. I was going 60 in a 50-mile zone. And the cop pulled me over, so I had to go to traffic court. And so when I go to traffic court, or excuse me, I had to go to traffic school. When I went to traffic school, I had my IBM badge on. And so the traffic teacher says, oh, you work at IBM. I said, yes, sir. He said, what do you do? I said, I'm just an intern. And he puts his hand on my shoulder. He says, you're not just an intern. You are an intern. You are adding value to that company. Your youthfulness, what you're learning is valuable to the company. They saw something in you to have selected you for an intern. So don't ever say you're just, because that kind of negates what it is you're describing. You are an intern. And so I never forgot that almost 20 years later. And so I tell people, if somebody's like, oh, I'm just a secretary, or I'm just a teacher, or this is just an interview. No, no, no. You're a secretary. You're a teacher. This is an interview. Don't use that qualifying word of just to negate what it is you're doing. And so again, it's about perspective and mindset, mind shift. If you think negatively, if you think less than, then your life will probably start to be more negative and you won't truly go after what it is. So be proud of what it is you do and never use the word you're just a.
This to me is very important. I had this conversation with you 2 weeks ago, and it really stands out. In fact, probably two or three times since I've had that conversation with you, I have mindfully thought of that word in my head and removed it before speaking.
Good.
So that's a really powerful one. I know it sounds very, very simple to everyone listening, but if you think about when you're about to say just and just hold that back, there's so much power in that. So much, because you are not just anything. You are powerful, you are impactful, you are important, and these things you are not when you use the word just. And it really does add power removing that word. So thank you so much for that lesson.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm so glad that you implemented and how it's changed your mindset and your overall outlook on life.
Immediately and incredibly. And who would have thought? Yeah, that's a big one. A
Yeah.
big one. So
Mhm.
thank you for sharing that.
Yes. Yeah, my pleasure. Like I said, I have so many life lessons. I'm only 37. I'll be 38 in August, but I've been around so many wise people and I just listen and I just soak in what they tell me. And they tell me the good, the bad, the learnings. And I love being around others and hearing their stories about successes and challenges and triumphs. And I just have all this wisdom. People think I'm younger than what I am, but then when they start talking to me, they think I'm older because I've just always been around older people. So that's been who I've been gravitated towards.
Beautiful, beautiful lessons.
Thank you.
Besides the book and the coaching and mentoring and the facilitating and connecting, you are a part of an alumni society.
Yes. So I am a part of the Black Alumni Association, and education is such a powerful tool. I learned that at a young age that when I came out the womb, my parents weren't like, if you're going to college, it was, what college are you going to? And so again, just having them manifest these things in my siblings and me is why I have such high expectations. And the reason why my parents preached education so much is because they grew up dirt poor.
Mhm.
My dad would joke, he would say, I wasn't poor, I was po. And he said he would they had running water, but he had to run to the well and get it and run back home. So grew up very, very poor. But he knew that education was his way out. And he went on to get master's degrees in English and French. My mother got her bachelor's degree in library science and English. And so that's how they became educated. So Malcolm X, one of my favorite quotes that my dad would always say is, education is our passport to the future, for the future belongs to those who prepare for it today. And I never forgot that quote because with a passport, anybody can travel anywhere in the world. But if you don't have that passport, you're limited to only staying in the United States. And so with education, the more educated you are, the more opportunities that you can get, the more people that you can connect with. So to anybody listening to this, young, older, young at heart, it's never too late to go after your degree. I have read stories with people in their 70s, 80s, even 90s graduating from high school or college to get that degree. It opens so many doors of opportunity. And not only does college teach you curriculum, but it teaches you about other people. It teaches you about how to go through resilience, how to go through conflict, how to come out better. And so I worked in higher education for numerous years. I'm from North Carolina originally, worked at North Carolina State University, helped students get internships, worked with them on different programming and events. And then when I moved to Los Angeles, I worked at USC for almost 10 years, just again, equipping students with what they needed to be successful, how to get an internship, how to create a LinkedIn page, how to network, how to be professional. Just as that story as I shared about that lady that pulled me aside. When I started a partnership with USC and the Los Angeles Lakers, I talked to my students, yes, because they wanted more interns. And so I wanted to make that happen. And I emailed my students and I said, you will wear a suit on this Zoom. Ladies, you can wear a nice dress. Your makeup should be very appropriate. You will have good lighting. You will have two questions prepared, and you will have your camera on and look attentive. If you can't do any of this, then this isn't the opportunity for you. So everybody showed up. And one of the executives at the Lakers said, oh my gosh, we have connected with many college students, but nobody is prepared. Nobody is well dressed. Nobody is enthusiastic as this group of students. So I speak from experience, like professionalism and being prepared really can take you far in life. So I would bring in guest speakers to talk about different things from mental health to traveling the world to starting a business, just to equip them with different things. And because I'm in Hollywood, a lot students were interested in the entertainment industry. So I would use them for volunteer opportunities. Like we would be in this $1 million mansion with all these singers, and they would have to escort the talent to the green room or escort the person to the stage. So like Dougie Fresh, Shaka Khan, all these different people. And the students like, oh my gosh, Miss Tensie, I can't believe this. And many of my students connected with people in the entertainment industry, and now they're directing Netflix specials for these celebrities. They're directing Lifetime movies. So I expose them to what could be. And so I feel that why God continues to bless me is because I open doors for people. You know, I'm sure we can all think of somebody who is so blessed and has so much, but doesn't want to share that knowledge. I'm an open book. If you prove yourself worthy and you go above and beyond, I will open up my network to help you. And so I was watching the Grammys back in January and I saw one of my students on stage, former students, performing at the Grammys. And so I'm just like, oh my gosh, just the impact that I was able to make on students. So I always love working with students. They keep me young, they keep me energized. But again, so many people poured into me. I now have the pleasure of pouring into others.
Where can they find you?
So you can find me on Facebook, my name Tensie Taylor, as well as Instagram at Tensie Taylor, and even my YouTube station, Miss MS Tensie. So please follow me, connect with me. I would love to talk to you. I would love to have you as a client in some way, but really just to motivate you to go to greater career heights.
And your website address.
Yes. So my website address is www.tjtconsultingllc.com.
And Tinsy here offers 15-minute consultations,
Yeah.
complimentary.
Yeah.
So please, please, please give that a try. You will absolutely feel the energy, whether it's live on Zoom, however you two meet. Wonderful. Oh, I am so, so happy to share you. Just been completely impacted in this short amount of time. And the lessons that I've already learned, like I said, the just was a huge one. I think, moreover, listening to you and reflecting on my self confidence and learning how to look at that and accept feedback. Hard to say, but it was very, very easy knowing that it came from a place of love and hearing it from you. I am excited to continue working with you, and I'm so happy to share you.
Oh, thank you, Christine. And I just want to wish you all of the success in the world. Thank you for allowing me to be a guest on your podcast and all the powerful things that you are doing with connecting people. And I look forward to continue to working with you. And if I can ever help you in any way, please, you got all my information. So reach out anytime.
Oh, yes. And we will be connecting with our networks because that's what I love to do. And I'm so excited that you love that too.
Last messages that I would love to share is the importance of confidence. When you find out how confident you can be, your whole world changes. And confident isn't being the loudest person in the room. It isn't being the most boisterous. It isn't being the most talkative. It's being the person who can listen and can add value to the conversation, who can go up to a celebrity, who can go up to an attorney, who can go up to a billionaire and say, "Hi, I'm Tensie. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for all that you do in the community." When I first got into Hollywood and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Angela Bassett. Oh my gosh, that's Taylor Swift. Like my heart will be beating. And now I'm friends with many of them. So it's like I have really come such a long way. But I think that confidence that I have with just being polite, firm handshake, great eye contact. Oh, so nice to meet you. Thank you. All of that goes a long way. And so when you can be confident, oh my gosh, the doors of opportunity that can open to you. So again, please reach out if you want me to help you to coach that confidence. But confidence and belief in yourselves are two of the main factors that I know for certain that really contributes to a person's professional as well as personal growth.
1,000% agree with you.
Thank you, Christine.
Thank you so much for talking with me.
Yes, my pleasure, love. So good seeing
I
you.
almost didn't know how to share at the end, but my confidence, I've really struggled with that. And just those 2 sessions with you, Tinsy, I have already noticed mindfully stopping myself and watching my repetitive words and going into a room and just knowing I am bringing value. I am important changes so much. Oh my gosh.
Yes, it does. And that's the thing, like mindset shift. It's like if you always see the glass half negative or half empty, I see it half full all the time. And it's just when you talk positive thoughts to yourself, it really changes it. So I'm glad that just those 2 sessions, imagine how you're going to be after our fifth session, you know?
Wait, do we only have to have 5?
I know,
No,
right?
I am appreciative. Yeah. They're powerfully packed hour sessions where I feel like you overgive and it's beautiful. I love what you give, how much you give, and how much how many gems and great nuggets are in that session. It's so cool.
Thank you. And then when I have great people like you who are receptive to feedback, because that's one of the things I tell people, you have to be coachable because I can coach you all day, but if you have an attitude with what I tell you or you don't go out and practice, then you're not going to advance. So some people really do unfortunately get in their own way.
What does it mean to be coachable?
Ooh, that's a great one. So, what it means to be coachable is to be open and receptive to the feedback and the techniques that somebody gives you. So often we're human. We're going to get on the defense when somebody says something. Oh, you have too much makeup on, or oh, this is too you say like too much. It's like, oh, I'm not perfect. I have a flaw. What? And so we want to sting and defend ourselves. Well, you don't know what. And when you just take a minute to just stop and say, okay, and then kind of reflect on what the person has said to you, and then take that feedback, and now you are aware of it, that's being coachable. I used to be very defensive. I remember this one gentleman, I was dating him, God bless him. He was so patient with me. And every time he would try to tell me something to better myself, I had a defense for it. I had an excuse. And he was like, honey, I don't care what your excuse is. Like, just stop and listen. And once I stopped and listened, it made sense. Like, even when we would work out together, I had my form wrong. And I was like, well, as long as I'm doing the exercise, he was like, you can do 100 push-ups all day, but if you have the incorrect form, you'll never grow that muscle. And so a lot of people, they're so caught up in what something is said as opposed to actually listen to what is said to change. And so that's why it's important to be coachable Because whether you're coaching sports, think about some of the greats. I'm sure Michael Jordan's coach told him, okay, maybe you need to work on this position or you need to work on this drill or technique. If he were fighting the coach, well, how do you know this? He wouldn't have been who he is. So if people would just stop and listen and just zip it and take in the feedback and then be more aware of it, that's how it grows. So I've had wonderful clients like you, Christine, who are very coachable. And then I've had experiences where I can't help them because I can tell you all day what you need to do. But if you fight me on it, I'm not going to fight back. So I always say, well, you know what? You've paid me to do a service. This is what I recommend. But at the end of the day, you can do what you wish. And I leave it there.
Uh,
Yes.
Thank you for adding that. I absolutely love that.
Thank
No,
you.
I wasn't very coachable for many, 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 many years. So it's
Yeah.
probably why it take me till like almost 45. But you're
But you're
right,
here
it's
now.
never too late.
Exactly. It's never too late. It's not, 45, you still have a lot of years ahead of you. So you got it now. And that's the thing. Like I said, I was defensive. I wasn't always coachable. But then like I said, I took a step back. I'm like, ooh, I do this. So, and it really helped me to be better.
Oh, this is going to be so great.
You are a natural at this, Christine. So you go, girl.
Thank you so much for encouraging me. I love
Yes.
it. I'm excited for this.
Used to grow and take you even higher.